Well, Mom and Dad's grab the kids, it's time for the fishing show. Me and old Rusty's gonna go catch them down at the fishing hole. Well, you better stick around, cause you don't know what you're missing. Yeah, me and old Rusty's got that fishing affliction. Grab your hats, grab your baits, and don't forget your poles. We're gonna fire up that old nitro boat and head to the fishing hole. We're gonna try to catch a biggin', yeah, that's what we're wishing. Cause me and old Rusty's got that fishing affliction. Yeah, me and old Rusty's got that fishing affliction. Yeah. Man, and we've got it bad.
Just like me. Here, fishy, fishy, here, fishy, fishy, here.
Rise and shine, it's Fishin' Affliction time. And thank you for joining us here on Fishin' Affliction. Today we get to fish near the house. How about that? We're fishing J. Percy Priest Lake. The big dog, his son Luke, and myself heading to Percy Priest. This is like a home lake to the big dog, and you know, he's just so familiar with so many of these lakes here in Tennessee and Alabama, Mississippi, Kentucky area. But this is a home lake. He lives right near it. Knows every fish. He said he knows every fish by name in there. So we're going to see today what the big dog can find us on Percy Priest Lake. So thank you for joining us. Let's see what we can catch today. Well, a beautiful sunrise waited for us at Percy Priest that morning time. And folks, these moments make it all worthwhile. And to top it off, we had Luke, the big dog's fish catching son. Luke can sure catch them, and he can sure text them, while his dad is trying to find us the hot spots on J. Percy Priest so we can catch some fish for Fishin' Affliction. Well, let's go catch a few.
Well, Mr. Largemouth. Oh, first fish of the day, and he's been a little while coming this morning. Mr. Largemouth, probably a male. All right. See if we can get us cranked off here this morning. We're on J. Percy Priest Lake in Nashville, Tennessee. And guess what? It is a busy day. There's a lot of people out here. And fishing with Luke and Brother Dan. It's going to be about 80 degrees today. Or that's what they're telling us. It'll be the first 80-degree day I've seen all year. You see what I mean? So anyway, we'll see what the heck we can catch after I get unhung.
Well, as Luke and I were waiting for the big dog to get unhung, look at this high bluebird sky we had that day. Actually, it's a high cormorant sky. Those are migrating cormorants that migrate thousands of miles in the early spring to their breeding grounds. And as we've seen such extreme weather here in Tennessee, some of the migrations are actually a little bit behind, as is some of the movements of the fish. So whenever you have these tough conditions, all bites are welcome, even if what's shaking on the end of your Strike King bait is not the kind of fish you're looking for.
Stripe. Goodbye, Mr. Stripe. Boom. Boom. Yeah. There's a little largemouth on a big spinnerbait. A big spinnerbait.
First catch that big spinnerbait.
Well, and you picked up your pace a little bit when that one hit, so I don't know if that's a sign or what, but you just sped it up to get it out of Dan's way and hung that fish. Maybe they're wanting it a little faster. There's another fish blowed up right there. See them coming up right there? There's several fish coming up on the edge of the banks. I really think we're going to have a fun day. We're catching the largemouth bass. Come off one of the stumps, didn't he?
And lost him.
Well, that was close enough. I'd have netted him. So that's a pretty good sign. Good, they're starting to eat that spinnerbait.
Yeah. Luke, you doing anything with that spinnerbait?
Not doing anything with it.
Yeah, cranking it fast, slow, pausing.
Trying to get on the bottom slower. Keep the blades turning.
Well, as the big dog and his son Luke try to figure out these Percy Priest bass and what's going to make them bite, let's go see a great picture from this week's
In the Wild. Your pictures in the wild.
You know, sometimes even the big dog needs a little help getting them in the boat. And this is Tristan Wade catching a big old largemouth, and there's the big dog trying to get in on the action. Actually, he and Tristan had a great day on the water catching a bunch of fish, and Tristan was able to catch this big old largemouth on a Strike King Series 5 crankbait. What a great fish, and a great time with the big dog out there just having fun. And we'd like to thank Michelle Wade for sending in this great picture. Folks, you can send your pictures to pics@fishandaffliction.com, and be sure to see all the picture galleries at www.fishandaffliction.com, and maybe you'll see your picture right here on In the Wild. Your pictures in the wild.
Kind of like this, all over, like that.
Maybe kind of like if you kind of steady, and if you pop it a little bit, you know.
There's no way I'm going to do that.
I believe it's like this.
Yeah, it's kind of like this.
It's like this. Then it's going like this.
No way.
Kind of like this. The sexy swimmer, it's got action you can't believe until you see it. I'm kind of liking this.
Here's a preview of the coming chapter in the summer of 2010. Our first annual bass tournament will be held May 15th with fishermen from 8 states in competition for a guaranteed $5,000 cash first prize. The tournament is expecting 250 angler teams. Professional anglers to father and son teams will compete in one of the largest open tournaments in the history of Old Hickory Lake. Our entry fee is no more than your local Tuesday night tournament, just $80 a boat. Budweiser, Robert Orsisko, Riverside Marine, and Anderson Marine have joined in with Blackjack Cove in presenting this incredible tournament event.
94% of fishermen hunt. 100% hunt big game. There is only one solution. Scotty Green Adventures. Hunting the world.
Welcome to Scotty Green Adventures. You pick your species you'd like to harvest and contact Scotty Green Adventures for your adventure of a lifetime.
For hunters only, brought to you by Scotty Green Adventures, hunting the world. Check out all the great hunts at ScottyGreenAdventures.com.
Well, there's no doubt that the big dog is a great fisherman. He sure knows how to catch those bass. But what you might not know is that he's a true outdoorsman. And the other morning he woke up, looked out the window, and here were these tom turkeys and some hens just strutting in the backyard and doing their thing, which is what they do this time of the year. Now, the big dog has been dying to get on the For Hunters Only segment because he wants all of you to know that he's not just a fisherman. So when he saw these turkeys, he grabbed his camera so he could demonstrate his turkey calling abilities and skills to all of us. Now, listen real closely to how the big dog calls in these big tom turkeys. A very unique method.
Here, turkey, turkey. Here, turkey, turkey.
Well, no matter if the big dog was trying to call the turkeys or doing a better chimpanzee impersonation, this is great footage from the big dog, and we sure do appreciate it. I'm sure that Affliction Pro staffers Catfish, Scotty, and Bailey Green are going to take up that style of calling turkeys because maybe they've been doing it wrong the whole time. I don't know that they have or not, but this is some great footage from the big dog. Now, back to Fishing Affliction. Well, it took the big dog and his son Luke to figure out that those fish were up in shallow water. So they put on some red eyes and went to catching some fish.
Red eye fish. Stayed deep too long.
Well, as you can hear, the wind is kicking up and the big dog is saying that we stayed deep too long. And this is a perfect opportunity to show you the Bass Pro Shop gear list that we use the rest of the day to get on these Percy Priest fish. And I'll explain to you about staying deep too long in just a minute. But first, Let me tell you about our fishing poles. We're using Kistler rods. These are 7-foot medium heavy rods and unbelievable for crankbait fishing, especially with these baits like the red eyes. The sensitivity on these rods is like no other rod that I personally have ever used, and I keep hearing this from other people. When you get a chance, get on down to Bass Pro Shop and put one of these in your hands, because they are unbelievable when it comes to their sensitivity. Now, these Kistler rods are spooled with Bass Pro Shop Excel monofilament at a 17-pound test. And the reason that we're using 17-pound test is to float these baits higher up in the water column when we get into that shallow water, therefore making it much easier to fish these type of baits in shallower water. Now, let's talk about our Strike King baits today. Well, once again, these red eyes. I cannot say enough about these red eyes. They keep catching fish on Fishin' Affliction. They are just unbelievable. There's so many different ways you can fish them, but today on Percy Priest, what we're going to be doing is getting in that shallow water and covering some ground. These red eyes become such a great search bait, just like people use spinner baits. You know, you make a lot of casts, cover a lot of ground, see if you can find some active fish. And these red eyes have such an action to them, no matter how you fish them, that it's hard to go wrong with these red eyes. Now, we also use our Series 5s and our Series 3s because you just can't go on the water without having these, because there are some opportunities where you start seeing deep ledges and drop-offs, and these Series 5s and Series 3s are just the perfect baits to cover from that mid-range to that deeper water. And another bait that's going to make its debut here on Fishin' Affliction is the Strike King custom baits. These are flat-sided small bill baits that run to a depth of about 6 to 7 feet. And because these baits float, you can fish them in very shallow water and work it down to the desired depth that you'll find those fish. And this bait proved to be a great bait a little bit later on in the day.
He ate that custom, didn't he, big dog?
He sure did, huh?
There you go.
All right, big dog.
Now, one thing that the people hadn't seen today is the amount of fish we've lost. We just had a loosey day, losing a lot of fish.
Isn't that something? I just wanted to show that custom. I was hanging there. That's pretty slender. Just great. All right, big dog, I'm going to take this out. And is this a keeper?
No.
Okay. Well, then catch us one.
I've got to start back throwing. I'll tell you what, they're eating that custom. And daggum, the red eye, I'm hanging them on it, but I just can't seem to get them in the boat.
Chunky. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, they're fun to catch. All right, get that one back in.
Big dog, did you get on my custom?
No, I got on my custom.
And
see, it's a different color.
Now wait a second, is that 2 customs?
Yeah. Goodbye, little bass. I got a lot of catching up to do. You're ahead by about 8.
I think it was 9.
Oh, you've been keeping count.
Well, if we're keeping up with misses, you've got me by double figures.
Well, thanks a lot. I guarantee that's right.
Well, the truth of the matter is the big dog and I missed a bunch of Percy Priest bass that day. And when you start missing them, you gotta start coming up with your excuses. Well,
what happened, Dan?
I can tell you the whole story, but the better story is I missed him. Actually, that's the truth.
I don't think you missed him. I think you released him halfway back to the boat.
You know what? Why? Because I was waiting for the cameraman.
Because you had a 10-pound test line and you should have had a 7-foot rod instead of a 6.5, and
big dog,
the cloud covering just right and the sun was in your eyes.
Don't you have a lure to go put on?
Well, he didn't have a new lure to put on, but he could have sure used a new wardrobe and some sunscreen. What you got, Casper?
Tell your mama to be afraid.
You know, the Fishin' Affliction outfit of the day is brought to you by Rusty Rust.
I'm gonna kill you.
Rusty Rust, sponsored by Transparent Skin.
Hey, don't worry, I'll get you in a minute. Dan's face is so white from this 55 plus sunblock he's got on.
It's 155.
Morticia doesn't look at white.
That ain't right, man. You see, folks, this is why I think the big dog and the into Skillet gal, Vicki Porter, are related. They always get in the last word. And speaking of Miss Vic, Let's go see what she's cooking. In the Skillet with Chef Vicki Porter is brought to you by Cleepy.com, turning your precious memories into video treasures.
Welcome to In the Skillet. I'm Vicki Porter, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make my glazed chicken wings. This is a great appetizer or a fun snack. And now for the ingredients. You will need 1 package of chicken wings, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1/2 cup of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 1 cup of honey, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, and salt and pepper to taste. Mix together 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a bowl, 1/2 cup of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 cup of honey, and salt and pepper to taste. Get that all mixed together. Cook the sauce over medium heat for about 15 minutes, and this will help the sauce to thicken. After cooking the sauce, then pour it over the chicken wings. Be sure to cover each of the wings really good with the sauce, and then we will bake it at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. These chicken wings look so good. I bet Rusty and Dan will want to take these on their next fishing trip. If you'd like to make these for your next fishing trip, you can find this recipe at FishinAffliction.com. I'm Vicki Porter, and tune in next week to see what's cooking in the skillet.
Hey, what do you think about these? Shaw Grigsby likes these, but Denny Brower looks awesome in these. You know, a lot of people don't know that Strike King is the #1 importer of packaged polarized sunglasses in the whole entire country. I've seen Mark Davis wear these, and I like them a lot. They're awesome. But you know what? Me, I have got to have my monsters.
Looking for the best place in Middle Tennessee to spend time on your boat? Do you have the perfect location to dock your watercraft with all of the amenities of home? Gather round and let me tell you the tale of Blackjack Cove. Just 11 miles from downtown Nashville, with easy access from I-40 or 65, you and your family can escape to beautiful Old Hickory Lake. Blackjack Cove is the premier marina in Davidson County that provides you and your friends much more than just a marina. There's something for everyone, whether it's lounging on the boardwalk, sitting on the deck enjoying dinner and drinks at the Black Pearl, or simply feeding the ducks. This is only the beginning.
The Tournament Trail is brought to you by Fishin' Affliction, for those who've got it bad.
Folks, here's the tournament trail results for Flipper's Sunday morning tournament held on April 11th, 2010. First place went to the team of Elrod and Hurd with 14.15 pounds. Second place to the team of Lefevers and Goodwin with 10.95 pounds. First big fish and second big fish went to Mr. David Elrod. The first one weighed 5.35 pounds and the second fish weighed 4.75 pounds. Great fishing, guys. Fishin' Affliction would like to thank Flippers up there in Bull Creek Marina for supplying this week's tournament trail results. Folks, you can send your tournament trail results to info@FishinAffliction.com, and be sure to check out our Fishin' Affliction archives for the tournament trail results at www.FishinAffliction.com. They're posted each and every week. Now, back to Fishin' Affliction. Well, Percy Priest is such a beautiful lake, and I wanted to share some interesting facts about this beautiful, beautiful lake just right here outside of Nashville. First, it's 42 miles long, and it is the Stones River that is dammed up that makes this lake. It was authorized as a project in 1946 by Congress as the Stewart's Ferry Reservoir. Pretty interesting. And it was completed by the Corps of Engineers in 1967. It has become one of the most popular lakes in all the United States, and last year was one of the most heavily trafficked lakes in all of the United States of America. And you know, it's not only boats that you see out there. This lady was in this little canoe with her little flippers, doing her fishing thing and just enjoying her day, as the Big Dog and I were doing. Now, back to me and the Big Dog. You see, the big dog doesn't get to run the camera too often because I'm normally in the back watching him catch the fish. But every once in a while, the guy in the back of the boat shows that he can catch some fish too, and the big dog becomes the cameraman. Now, he definitely has the skills to catch the fish, but we are working on his cameraman skills. See, the big dog doesn't know to come towards me on this windy day, so he can pick up the audio so it's not so windy in the microphone. But this is how it is when you let the big dog be the cameraman. So let me tell you about what's happening. As you can see, the wind has picked up and it's blowing into these rocky shoreline banks. And this presented a perfect opportunity to start fishing a shallow running crankbait. And I chose a Strike King Custom Series flat shad. As I told you earlier, this bait runs in anywhere from 1 to 6 feet of water depending on your line, and we're throwing 17-pound test monofilament today to float that bait up higher, and this is that perfect scenario that I spoke about earlier. We were casting up into about 1 foot or 2 of water and finding those active feeding fish, and there was a bunch of them. Now, even though we didn't catch a giant, I was having a ball, but I think the big dog was getting a little bit jealous.
Well, they're not giants, but at least you're catching some, and I'm not.
Right there, big dog. Hey, you want this? You bet.
You're funny.
What's up, big dog?
That thing come to the boat fast and furious.
Now, the reason I'm laughing is because the big dog has something on the end of his pole while he's filming me. He thinks it's a fish, but it's actually a rock.
Could you do me a favor and go to the back of the boat, being as your ballast has come up here and put me on the bottom?
Oh. That's my cameraman today. He's in the front of the boat. His name is Big Dog Rusty Rust. And we're on Percy Priest today. And I've caught 60.
You caught more than 6, I think.
60, I said.
Huh?
60. Okay, maybe not that many. Just got to give the big dog a hard time. There he is.
That thing running.
It's running. The cameraman's got one, huh?
Golly, man. I cannot keep them suckers on today. I just can't keep them on. Did you see that sucker? Don't be laughing, you sorry joke. Man.
Oh.
You know, they strip line out, they run out. Man.
Hey, it's a good thing. It's a good thing you let me let me come today. That way we could show some fish. In the boat.
Very nice.
In the boat even. Not a monster, big dog. Not a monster.
You win. You win the Littlest Bass of the Day award.
Okay.
Very good job, Dan.
Go ahead.
The Littlest Bass of the Day.
Hey, I'll tell you what. No matter what, still fun. Still fun, big dog. That's right. Still fun and still windy. You know, right until the sun went down, the wind just kept blowing. And we kept on fishing. And we kept catching fish. Here's the big dog with another one.
Another little bitty one. Man, I've caught the tiny, tiny, tiny bass in the world. Have the tiny bass in the world, Connie.
Well, there's one thing I've learned about the big dog since we started fishing Affliction, is he loves to catch big bass. And sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't. But he's always in hot pursuit of the big ones. So as the day is kind of stretching on, the big dog had a plan. You see, he has spent so many years on J. Percy Priest Lake that he knows it like the back of his hand. And he had one more place that he wanted to get to before the sun went down, where he thought there might be something other than a largemouth. That's right, a smallmouth, and I'm all for that. Good smallmouth.
That looks like a good fish.
Sure does, doesn't it?
Just take your time with him.
I'm going to. Oh, that feels good, big dog.
Man, I'm glad to see that fish. Well, that's a good solid smallmouth.
Yeah. Right where you said he'd be too, big dog. Cool, huh?
It's funny how this one little hump in here holds smallmouth, and it's the only little place in that cove that does.
That's just pretty.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
And he's got a red eye.
And look.
But he didn't eat a red eye. He
on the custom.
Eat a custom with a red eye.
There might be some more.
Well, I'm glad to see you catch one off that thing, because I sure made enough cast over there.
You did, didn't you?
I have one of the chartreuse over the... There you go.
Pretty fish. Pretty.
Yeah, pretty fish.
All right.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah, let her go.
I mean.
Huh. Well, there's another little smallmouth. And he's... How come you caught the good one, man?
Well, I was going to say...
But that is the first two smallmouth we've seen all day, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
On a smallmouth place. Oh, look how healthy he is. Fins
pretty?
look good. Come on, smallmouth. Well, we're right at dark. And we might get 4 or 5 more casts in before it gets dark enough, but on a little smallmouth spot, man. See if we can catch them at one decent fish.
Well, they're all decent in their own way. They're just not as big as the big dog wish they would be all the time. But what a great day we enjoyed on J. Percy Priest Lake. I had about 14 or 15 fish, and the big dog had about a dozen. That's right, somebody in the back of the boat caught more than the big dog. Hey, just had to throw that in there, big dog. I sure enjoyed the day with you, the beautiful sunset. It was awesome. Folks, tune in to Fishin' Affliction next week when the big dog and I say... Today is my mother's birthday, so Mom, I just want to tell you that I love you. Happy birthday, and big dog.
There's a big birthday hug.
There it is right there. Fishin' Affliction is brought to you by Strike King Lures, Deca Batteries, Kistler Rods, and Bass Pro Shops. Thanks for tuning in this week, and please join us again next week because...
Yeah, me and old Rusty's got that fishing affliction. Grab your hats, grab your baits, and don't forget your poles. We're gonna fire up that old nitro boat and head to the fishing home. We're gonna try to catch a big one. Yeah, that's what we're wishing. Cause me and old Rusty's got that fishing affliction. Yeah, me and old Rusty's got that fishing affliction. Yeah. Man, and we've got it bad.